that you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there, welcome to the Flushing Bloke podcast. I'm your favourite Auntie Siobhan, and...
Have you broken yourself?
There we go. Let's meet the plucky girl assistants. We have Dr. Sinister, who's looking incredibly smug, but he's had too many fig rolls and he's going to regret it.
Yeah.
We have Adam Purcell, who's still here for Stock Ops. You never
always.
left.
Hello.
Yep. We have the wonderful... no, I'm terribly sorry. You are again? You are? Sorry?
Hello.
Hello? Yes. That would be Dominic.
I used to be here, and then I suddenly got a job, and then I wasn't.
Yeah, hello, Christian. Sorry, one of our regulars is in chat. Yeah, but we're over the moon for you, so you don't need to worry about us. And then, well, look what the cat dragged in.
Quite literally.
Oh dear. Would you care to explain to the nice boys and girls out there in audience land, which apparently I'm told does exist, where you were last Sunday?
Oh no, you froze badly.
You froze badly.
Oh, no, it's not starting to do that, is it?
So the bit aren't. He said it. That got him out of
that? What's that? Your device needs to restart to install updates.
Windows, eh?
Now, as I seem to recall, this does tend to give me... hello, Retta, sweetheart. This does tend to cause me trouble. And Brian nearly pulled his hair out trying to solve it all. And then we worked out eventually it was just Windows updates. Right, so, yeah, Brian, where were you last week? How dare you?
I was laying in bed thinking that my brain was going to explode out of my skull.
He had space mumps.
That's quite appropriate, actually. You had. He was like the Lord Kiv.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So it's a nice hairpiece you've got on today. I'm just saying. Nice hairpiece. It's a Shatner toupee. All right.
As we get into space, sir.
Righty-ho. Hopefully, Retta, you've been okay. We've not heard from you all week, so we hope you're all right. Talking of weeks, this is going to take time. Dominic, how's your week been? Okay.
That good, huh?
Technical problems.
He's having technical problems. Hello, can you hear us?
Can we have your scores, please, Dominic?
Crawley calling.
7.
We're just wondering, how's your week been, love?
It's been okay. It's been quite plentiful. I've had a lot to do, to be honest. So it's been entertaining. I've had my anniversary. I've been filming stuff. I've been working on various bits of Big Finish related stuff, which I'm sworn to secrecy, or I will be shot live on camera.
Can I pay to see that?
No, you don't want. It was the goriness. You want to avoid the goriness.
But when you get shot, do you actually regenerate, or is that like?
No, Brian, I die.
Might get better.
It's been known.
Hope would be a fine thing.
I mean, there's Brexit. You've got to be sure. Talking of Brian has plans for you. He mentioned them earlier. What are
You're
your plans?
taking over after RTD.
Am I?
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
Okay.
We've also claimed you as our own. You're now our own Dominic Martin.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I'm happy to.
Yeah, you belong to us now. You will be like us. Sinister, how's your week been?
No, you'll be better. We have the technology.
Oh, ooh.
It's a bit uncomfortable.
My week involved 56 separate meetings on Teams.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's a bit much.
I usually only do 1 or 2 a day.
40 or
No,
Bit
I say 56. I was actually triple booked for some of those.
Oh,
That was the total. I normally have at least 7 or 8 a day when I'm not at the office, and I'm not at the office at the moment for obvious reasons, and it's getting a bit tedious. I'd rather be at the office.
yeah.
It's understandable. I mean,
Mind you, it does save you a very, very it does save you a very long drive every day, to be fair.
This is true.
Old man Purcell, your week?
Yeah, I have to be in the office because I don't trust any of those neo-Luddites to actually fix the machines or use them.
Oh, God almighty. He's become dedicated to the job.
oh, there's
No. I just, am dedicated to the paycheck.
Brian, it wasn't supposed to happen this way.
Yes, so Purcell, what did you get up to this week?
Ooh, a new TV, new danger.
Tell the nice boys and girls and others that... What? I'm going to start clucking on
So,
the
a new OLED, an LG G1.
So he's Swedish.
Yeah,
OLED.
yeah, really good. Much better than my previous one.
He's finally caught up to me in size.
Is it 4K?
Oh, of course, 4K. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mine isn't.
Smart.
Yeah,
No.
full
Yeah.
HDR, all that stuff. Yeah. The
Wi-Fi?
new Doctor Who credits look great in HDR 4K.
Oh, yeah.
This is the...
Yeah.
I'm going round there this week,
Deep
even though
black.
it's a podcast week.
Looks really good.
I'm going to go round there and just ask if I can watch it. Pathetic,
Bring a
isn't it?
bag of popcorn.
The thing
Yeah,
is, sorry.
Only one episode I think is in 4K on the iPlayer at the moment, which is not the last New Year's one, but the one before that. Which was what? Revolution of the Daleks?
Revolution of the Dalek.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's in 4K for some reason. Nothing else, not Flux.
It's a bit of an oddball choice.
Yeah, I don't know. But looks great.
Test broadcast?
Maybe. Yeah, must be.
I mean, I remember they used to have BBC HD, didn't they?
They did.
Ironically-
I was
Test
there.
things out.
26.
Ironically, you'd think the episode in 4K would be resolution, wouldn't you?
You would, yeah. You
Oh,
would.
hat off. Hat
Very
off.
That's a very good.
Thank you.
Oh, we've started well tonight. Oh, dear. Right. What was my week like? Deathly silent. There we go. I did warn you I was going to move my leg. Thank you. Right, now then. Bit of housekeeping. Brian can no longer do the Big Finish reviews, quite simply because his work sucks. He hasn't said that. I'm the one saying that.
No, I would never say
No,
that.
not at all. But quite frankly, there's also the fact that Big Finish do insist on drowning us with output. As you will find out a little bit later on this show. If only there was somebody we could talk to about that.
I know. If there's only someone we could
Unionise.
about this.
Stop all the work.
Unionise, that's it. We will unionise. Big Finish reviewers will unionise.
Can we unionize?
Not the union.
Oh, damn it. We'll get that intern freed.
Oh, the intern.
But got a lot of Big Finish to review tonight. So we're looking at Trial of a Time Lord, parts 5 to 8, Mindwarp. We have Doctor Who 40, both stories from that, plus a little bonus story.
Oh, God.
And then we've got Star Cops episode 3 and Blake 7 episode Games. So we have a fair bit to talk about. It does mean, however, I'm going to be doing the Big Finish review solo.
Freezing again.
And
You won't be talking lots if you're doing that.
Hang on. Let's do this. You see, the thing, the network's fine. It's just...
Don't do a Windows update. You'd be here.
I'm
for
not going to do a
forever.
Windows update. I'm scared.
Yeah, you'd be there for quite some time.
I've actually, you better sit down for this. I've actually prepared some stuff for the Big Finish reviews, because normally I'm hopeless at reviewing stuff because I don't have an attention span. But I genuinely,
Isn't it lucky you don't host a show that does reviews?
I always wing it. Why do you think I have plucky girl assistants?
We're 100 episodes in. Finally decided to prepare. What's this?
I've solo podcasted before. It's a soul destroying job. How Tim Drury and the Little Tin Dog do it, and have kept doing it all these years, I don't know.
Day 2, put them out there.
But, yeah, we do have a lot of Big Finish to talk about. We're also looking at Watchers, the Matthew Waterhouse thing. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you'd have told me, even a week ago, so that's exactly it. That and Twist Their Ankles, Retta. If you told me over a week ago that I would be sat down for 7 hours listening to Matthew Waterhouse in my ears, I would have poo-pooed you. I'm going to be honest, I would. But we'll come to Watchers afterwards. I've got things to say about that as well. I've actually prepared.
That feeling. That's the same feeling I get when I realize exactly how invested I am in Cobra Kai. Because if you had ever told me that I would be 30 years on watching season 4 of Cobra Kai this intently, I would have called you insane.
Amazing. I blow my nose and you all stop talking. That's amazing. That gentleman is known as dead air. We don't like dead air. By the way,
Dead air is
Dom, have
a
you
crime.
ever heard of the Soft Annual 2019?
Yes, I have.
You're not Dominic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
The what now?
The Soft Annual 2019.
Soft Daniel.
Yeah.
I'd say I have.
We
It's
will
a
talk
porn
about
thing, isn't it?
afterwards.
Run.
There's a couple of really good stories on there.
Let's
by
put it
some
this way. It's my
weird-
audition.
some weirdo.
What, the Dr. Sinister stories by any chance?
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoyed those a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. As soon as we said we'll do Dr. Sinister, he came out of 30 stories. What the hell? I couldn't
What?
keep track of it all. Right. Okay. Is there any news? We have any news? Anybody died this week? No. Oh,
It's very, very, yeah.
Considering your internet connection, and there we go on Twitch.
oh, Twitch is bugged up. Did you say?
Oh no, we're back.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Live.
So, the trouble is, I can't bring up the toolbar unless I do this for a second. Hang on a second.
For those of you playing along at home, every time Auntie's connection freezes or we have a Twitch problem, take a shot of vodka.
Or bleach.
That's like 50% vodka, right? Gin, maybe?
Okay, I don't. Right.
She's
Well,
going into task
dead.
manager. Run.
Okay, now I've worked it out. What time is it? 21:15. Yeah, my apologies.
And at the same time as well.
World of Warcraft.
18 different things open on her desk. Oh, yeah.
Good.
But it's
Just spinning and
It is my internet connection. It's not
Yep.
Windows. I've just checked.
oh,
It's typical Virgin, round about this time of night.
mine's okay.
It screws me over. I mean, that's why we... Oh, was it Revelation of the Daleks? That's why we...
Yes.
took a while for us to...
Yeah.
And then when I did do it, I pressed episode 2 instead of episode 1.
Oh.
Yeah, they're all frozen. It wasn't me at all, Retta. But yeah, sorry, folks in chat. Virgin Media are doing their thing, I'm afraid.
I did have some problems yesterday, but it's okay today.
Okay.
Weird.
That's fair enough. We've got a lot to get through, so shall we make a start?
Well, it's been nearly 20 minutes. We probably ought to.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
we've done the introductions. It's been 15.
Here we
It's
go.
a fair.
One of my favourite versions of the Doctor Who theme. Can't imagine why.
Bongo version.
Smooth jazz version.
Don't you mean Belgian jazz?
Yes, that's what. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly
yes.
Il rit. Ah, ah, ah. Parce que je suis docteur qui. Oh, I spoke French in front of Dr. Sinister. I will be punished.
You sure there's French?
You'll be punished for this.
Yes.
I'm not sure any French person would recognise it.
Coming from the English person, I'll take that as a compliment. Yes, again, sorry, chat. I don't know if I cut out last time I was saying that. My internet provider's being a gid. Right, so a Doctor Who lands on a pink planet. And so does Perry. They've just come from Thoros Alpha, where they met a dirty old warlord who said, send more weapons that kill. Trying to think of a weapon that doesn't. Oh well. One thing you will notice, interesting trivia fact. The TARDIS is missing its door signage. I know, right? So
Never noticed that.
Yeah,
Nope, never noticed.
blows
No.
you away when you find out. Dear God. It's also, I think, one of the first proper planets with a paint box. They've
Yeah,
really
it was a big thing at the time.
Yeah, they've gone out of their way, and suddenly this looks like an alien planet. It's good. It's very good. It's Trial of a Time Lord, parts 5 to 8.
Story 2.
Mindwarp.
We're still.
Right, I've got to get this right. Professor Crazier has just managed to work out a way of transferring brains from one body to the next, or life forces, or something like that.
Yeah, it's just clear.
He does the coolest thing ever. When Lord Kiv goes into spasm, he still stops and takes a swig of tea. Yeah. And basically, Lord Kiv is Syl. Come on, Thoros Beta, the Mentors. Vengeance on Varus. Anyway, Lord Kiv is Syl's boss. Played by Christopher Ryan. New series fans will know him as a Sontaran. People of my generation will know him as Mike. Mike the cool person.
Like a cool person.
Mike the cool person.
I'll have 100, please. Shall I do the rest of the joke?
Yeah, go on.
Fuck me. All right, make it 101.
Hang on, brain. It's hard enough keeping it together to try to describe Mindwarp's plot at the best of times. However, trying to get Kiv out of a reptilian body into a warm-blooded body.
Yeah, not very clear why he wants to do that particularly, but okay.
Because his head is expanding and the skull wouldn't.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
can't you just augment the skull, put in a metal plate or something?
Yeah.
The
Something
fact
like
you're
that.
thinking about this worries me. I'm going to be honest. We have mad scientists aplenty.
Of a metal plate are limited compared to a whole new body.
Oh, yeah, but come on. Imagine the trouble at airports.
I
Crozier
could
does
be
say
mad
at one point-
technologist, but
Hang on, we're all
Crozier
talking at once.
Sorry. Crozier says at one point that species such as yours, he says they're hybrids, which makes me wonder if they are genetically modified in some way.
Oh.
And given the thing the Doctor
Must be sweet
finds, the Doctor finds an item in a cylinder at episode 1, which I've never noticed before. Did anyone else notice this?
No, you're going to have to come out and tell us.
He picks up a tube that contains a chest burster from Alien.
Ah,
Really?
yes! Yes, you did point that out to me.
So
Never
you're saying
spotted
they're
that
all
before until this time round.
So Alien confirmed canon in Doctor Who.
Yes, which means that he is some kind of geneticist involving hybridization of species.
Talking of which, anybody worked out what the link was to the opening thing? I did.
I don't remember the opening thing you did.
Going well tonight, folks. I was expecting you to turn around and say, "Is it John Hurt?"
1984.
Yeah, that was last week, love.
Oh, damn.
I'm sorry. There's no actual connection this time round. It's just, what the hell was she doing? Right. Who wants to go first on this one? We'll go into the behind-the-scenes stuff afterwards. Let's just have a general overview. Anybody? Please? Sinister, you said you couldn't bear to watch it again.
Right, I didn't need to watch it again. I've seen it many, many times over. But I'll be honest with you, I watched until the end of episode 2, and I'm going to be upfront. I've never liked this story. I've never liked Philip Martin stories, if I'm honest with you. They leave a sour taste in my mouth. It's a perfectly competent production, don't get me wrong, apart from the convoluted plot. I mean, it looks very nice on the screen. But when you've got the Doctor torturing Perry on a beach and she's about to drown, I just thought, no, I'm not watching any more of this. I've never liked it. It's never entirely clear whether the Doctor's brain has been affected
Well,
by...
we're going to talk about that. We can talk about it now if you like.
It's never entirely clear whether the Doctor's brain has been affected by the conditioning that Seal tried to put him under. It's not entirely clear whether it's the Matrix being altered to fit the facts. It's the fact the Doctor doesn't remember what's happened. The ending was shocking at the time,
Yes,
and
it was.
it gets retconned later on. But I'm not convinced that that's actually what happened. I think what we saw happened is what happened, if I'm honest with you.
Yes.
But it's just compared to the previous 4 episodes, which might have been a bit trite, it suddenly gets very dark, and it's too cynical for me. I don't like it. I've never liked it.
Brian, if you need to be excused, you should have gone before.
Well, I just have a question. Who among us hasn't really hasn't wanted to kill Perry at one point or another?
I've never wanted to kill Perry.
Like Perry.
Your only problem's her accent, admit it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of behind-the-scenes kerfuffle going on during the making of this series.
Okay.
Indeed, this story. The actors were desperate for somebody
Tell them what was going on.
to go, yeah, hang on a second, what am I doing here? Is this real? Is this a Matrix projection? What's happening? And the script editor said, talk to the writer said, talk to the script editor. And so it does become a bit of a confused mess, unfortunately. Short for Perpigillium, Retta.
Is that a real name? I don't know.
Very common name.
Apparently, yes. Dominic, you got any memories of Mindwarp?
Well, the last time I watched Mindwarp was in the BFI was that 1 or 2 years ago? I mean, it was interesting seeing a whole crowd of people, that's for sure. But the story itself, I mean, I kind of want to like it. I very much want to like it. But at the same time, I mean, as Sinister said, there's just certain elements that are just too much. The whole, it's not... is this actually... was the Doctor under conditioning? Or was he playing along with a ruse? Is it the Matrix and everything? It just didn't sit right. It was like... Suddenly you have this nice promise of this chemistry in the mysterious planet,
Yes.
where the Sixth Doctor and Perry are actually finally getting to get along and actually liking each other. They're liking each other's company. It's actually it's an atmosphere. And then suddenly, bash! No, that's gone, and it's gone so much worse than what it was the previous series.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It is just painful to see those characters, their relationships degrade, and you'd never even get a proper resolution to it. They just they separate on such bad terms, and
that's not how you get rid of it.
I
That's
always
not how
felt-
you finish a companion.
But the
Exactly.
Colin Baker had a really rough ride of it, and I don't just mean during his time on the show. It's afterwards as well. If ever there's something newsworthy and it's bad about Doctor Who, somehow they connect it with him, and that really pisses me off. I feel sorry for the poor man. It's
really unnecessary.
yeah.
It doesn't help that they were trying to kill the show out from under him.
Well, it wasn't it actually personal between him and one of the executives at the
Michael
BBC.
Grade. Something to do with Lisa Goddard.
Yeah, it was his wife, wasn't it? Colin used to date his
Yeah.
wife, wasn't it?
Colin was at some sort of BBC thing and he had to turn up in costume. And Grade just completely blanked him. So we don't like Michael Grade, even if he has apparently been converted.
Into what?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Dominic, something you said there reminded me of something I was going to say and I can't remember what it was.
Sorry.
Okay, so Adam. Have you any memories of this?
Oh yeah, I remember
Right.
when it first went out. Up there in my parents' bedroom using their video recorder to record it. After not Buzz Rush, Roland Rat, wasn't it, I think?
Yee.
Yeah, for me, it is too grim as well. The fact you don't have a happy ending, you can always have a happy ending, but it's just too grim to get there.
He was
really.
trying to go for Earthshock again.
Yeah. And, yeah, killing of a character, I don't know.
I mean, I've got to admit, sorry, go on.
It's just, there are better ways to get rid of companions.
I mean, I've got to admit,
Far better ways.
that last episode has me on the edge of my seat, especially on first viewing. And he's rushing there to try and get to Perry, and then when he gets taken out of time, I was absolutely gobsmacked. It really was shocking then.
Yeah.
However,
It was.
6 episodes later, it all gets retconned.
Yeah.
Which is a dreadful shame. Has anybody got anything else to say? Brian, would you like to say something about this?
I'm okay with Grimm. I can do Grimm. Grimm is fine with me. I'm just shocked that no one has actually mentioned the true star of this arc, Brian Bless.
Brian Blessed. It's Blessed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting there watching this, expecting Hawkman dive at any point in time.
Very much.
Yeah.
Over the top acting, check. Loud, check.
I am King Yapanos.
You should see his live stage show. There must be bits of it.
Every
I think Richard Herring's podcast did, and basically Brian came on and just did his stage show. Forget the interview, and the man's a complete loony. He's climbed Mount Everest without oxygen, or at least he's tried several times. I don't think he's ever actually succeeded. And this is in his 60s. The man, he's punched a polar bear on the nose.
Well, what else are you going to do with a polar bear that
Well,
close?
it was that sort of situation, yes. Not like he walked up to a polar bear and went, "Oi, drop." But Brian Blessed is
Punches it? No. It's
Brian Blessed is the public's choice for Speaker of the House of Commons.
Order!
Yeah, he'd soon sort them out.
Part of me wants to see that. The other part of me knows how that went for us. Maybe no.
Dear. We love Brian Blessed. He is a national institution over here, so and he is a very loud one. However, he can do some superb subtle work. I point people to I, Claudius. He's superb in that, and this is subtle, Blessed. A bit like he used to get in Z-Cars. This is before, essentially, Flash Gordon. Flash is what made him shouty, I think. Everybody remembers his Hawkman thing, and he's just stuck with it.
It's only half a decade later,
Turned
isn't
into
it?
the skid.
What?
He turned into the skid. His career was going one way.
Oh,
He got the Hawkman thing. Now everybody thinks of him like that. So he's like,
Well, he went from Flash. He went into the first Blackadder series as King Richard, I think.
Yeah.
Who
very much-
was basically "Let blood, blood, blood be our battle cry. Chiswick fresh horses. I intend to ride to the baby-eating Bishop of Bath and Wells. Pull down my trousers and yell. See, I favour thee most highly." Brian Blessed is a legend. There's a story on set at Blackadder where he was supposed to crash through this door. It was supposed to be a prop door. That is easy to.
It wasn't a prop door.
It wasn't a prop door, but that didn't stop him. He just went straight through it.
Oh my god!
The man is a legend.
Quite hard to see what Perry would see in King Yrcanos, really, but
Makes you kind of want to party with Brian Blessed,
Yeah, same.
or at least just sit back and watch the carnage.
Watch a polar bear, see what happens.
Exactly.
That's how you summon Brian.
You have a polar
Punch a
bear. you
polar
have-
bear on the nose, Brian will appear.
Is there some left for me?
Quite so. Quite so. Yes, Christian, Claudius, what a superb series that is. I'm tempted to try and do it on here, but I don't know if people will go for it.
Isn't it like immensely long?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. But the amount of faces from Doctor Who you'll see in there, we're talking the cream of British television acting and
Yeah,
feature
Jack-
acting.
You guys only have like 12 actors, right?
You got Jacoby, 12 actors.
John Hurt?
You got Jacoby, John Hurt, who's superb as Caligula. There is one of the most awful scenes probably ever seen on television at the time in I, Claudius, which has to do with John Hurt.
Does it involve eyes?
It involves Caligula's
Chestburster.
sister.
Okay.
Does it involve a wood chipper? Just wondering.
No, we're talking ancient Rome. Unlikely they had one.
You never know. They were ingenuous.
They invented a lot of stuff.
But the
Yep.
wood chipper? I'm not so sure. Oh, chipper?
Look, you can invent anything when you've got endless slave labor at your hands.
You're dreaming again, aren't you?
Tomorrow, people they had a steam engine.
Eh? What?
Slaves.
In Tomorrow People, they had a steam engine.
Do we count the Tomorrow People as part of our real timeline?
Should we? That's the question of the
That's
day.
a very good question, in fact.
Yeah.
Dominic. Should we count the Tomorrow?
It depends on how you feel about disco clothing.
Oh god.
You must obey your pants. Talking about which, Adam, do you remember when we went to go and see the Teen People?
yeah, indeed. A few years
Um,
back now.
Yeah, we even wore jaunting belts.
Yeah. That's
It's
the
been
lock.
recorded on audio for posterior.
Oh, an audio. Okay.
So Alistair's working on it at the moment.
Yeah, there was talk of them doing that again, but
Yeah, but how can you during
think it
COVID? A small little production
Well,
like
yeah.
that, they're not going to have the funding.
no.
Right, so has anybody got anything more to say about Mindwarp?
Bit of a shame. This is the last time we see Syl on TV. Obviously
Syl's a
wasn't going to
superb
be.
character.
So,
Syl
yeah.
really is a superb character. And Nabil Shaban is just brilliant in the role. He is probably one of the most vile Doctor Who monsters there have been, apart from possibly the 4, 5, 6.
Michael Grade. But
And Michael Grade, of course, yes.
Great.
So,
Where does Madge fit in that?
Madge Arwell. Oh, Madge Arwell is real world. If she doesn't fit, she will make sure she does. So, I don't know if I want to do this. Thumbs up or thumbs down for Mindwarp?
yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with it.
Look at that.
Middle of the road, kind of towards the down.
Yeah.
Wow,
down.
that is unusual, isn't it? Normally,
it
we're
is.
fairly positive about things. You know, we see the positive in it.
It's just so confused.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's. I mean, especially if you look at the stuff in the last episode with everyone running around and spinning around and everything else like that. That's just a perfect analogy for the story as a whole. Quite
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, it really does show that they were trying to kill it.
No, that's
Well,
just
people
it.
working on it weren't.
Why would you put a long-running story like that on the hiatus and not completely replace the production team when you brought it back?
Yeah, that's the
bizarre,
reason.
but yeah.
I mean, that's a ridiculous thing. And
Nothing changed.
I mean,
Nothing changed.
the people
Apart from
making
the
the
classic.
program weren't trying to kill it; they were trying to do their best. But
It really was the worst possible thing they could have done.
well, yeah, we're going to hold a mirror up to real life. Oh dear, don't do this.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like a lot of Trial of the Time Lord, but I honestly don't think it should have been done. It was the worst way to bring the series back up.
I agree. We said this last week. People have got to not only watch the series come back, they've got to watch for a whole 14 weeks. And then in the middle of it, you suddenly do this convoluted mess where you're not even sure whether you even like the main character anymore. It's no wonder. It was a wonder we ever got to McCoy.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, the very fact they brought it back and they basically scapegoated Colin.
Yeah.
You know, but the will wasn't there. They brought it back because they were worried about the outcry. They learnt their lesson, though. After Series 26, they just let it drift off. They didn't announce anything.
Yeah, they didn't say anything. They let it slowly wither.
Yeah,
And they hinted at deals with outside companies and stuff like that to keep the fans happy. Oh, there's going to be
yeah, exactly.
an outside company come in to do it, but
I have unwanted Doctor Who conversations in the bagging aisle at our local Iceland. There's one of the cashiers there. I think he likes Doctor Who. I'm not sure. He knows I do, so he constantly tries. Every time I'm buying something, he constantly tries to spark up a conversation, either about my back or about Doctor Who. And the trouble is, it's a very awkward conversation for me because he always gets all these facts wrong.
Oh,
And it ends up with
Let's give
me
you a back rub.
trying to correct him without correcting him.
yeah. No.
You know
Yeah.
what you should do? Have them watch this show.
I did say that.
Takes
to
a while.
him, to be honest with you. You might want to.
even just New Who would take quite a while to watch all of that now.
No, I
Yeah.
mean this show, our show.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll explain it to them.
Yes, I mean, look how well we've explained everything else we've done.
Exactly.
The mark of quality. Right. So next week it's episodes 9 to 12. Otherwise known as Terror of the Vervoids. Gentlemen, I give you the choice. All right. You can either watch the Blu-ray version where they've cut out all the trial scenes and just made it an ordinary Doctor Who adventure,
Can't be better,
or
surely.
you can watch the whole thing. We need at least one person to watch the whole thing so he can compare and contrast.
Whatever is on BritBox is
In
what
that
I'm
case,
gonna
it'll be the whole thing,
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. Terror of the Vervoids. I look forward to observations about the design of the Vervoids.
And the Liverpudlian accents of the Vervoids.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'd also like you to keep an eye, please, on
Janet.
Janet the Stewardess.
Mm-hmm.
I always did.
I'm going to be good and
Even as a
just
teenager, I always did.
go.
We want you to keep an eye on her because the theory is that she's the one behind everything. That's Gary Russell for you.
Hey.
I mean, he's been saying it ever since the show aired, but I mean, he is getting rather old now. He can't help it. He also can't sit here and have a go back at me.
On the topic of Gary Russell, there was a bit of news this week relating to him.
right.
Yes, BBC America have pulled funding for the Doctor Who animations.
Yeah, that.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, it's been reported in the Radio Times. Now, I know the Radio
As a
Times.
rumour.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I can sort of see it.
I mean,
Fans are
it's
now turning
reported-
to BritBox.
I don't know. Have the sales figures ever really been reported for the animations?
Unlikely.
Well, Well, I mean, they're
Is
always
it-
number one over here in the charts.
They do quite, yeah, but then media sales are way down what they used to be.
Well, the problem they've got
Really
is the
stress.
States stuff. The way they've done it in the States, they'll do broadcasts on BBC America, and then they've got to wait for ages till they can get the Blu-ray or DVD. In fact, I think it's just DVD in the States.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. Happy to be wrong.
Story of roaring trade in steelbooks here, that's for sure.
But it's well, that's because
It's just-
Dean buys them all. Yeah, it's yeah, I know. It's. I hope it's not true. I know the animations aren't perfect, but they're better than nothing at all.
The thing, I remember there was so much criticism over the Web of Fear animation.
Yeah,
And-
that was different though. Yeah.
Yeah, that I think was a tryout. We've got one episode here. Let's try this. And
That's true. I just hate to think that they saw the negative feedback and then took that as people not wanting any more animations. Because
they shouldn't have had to. I mean, quite frankly, I mean, there's always been negative feedback about the animations because they don't have the money or the time to do it quite well. Now, Gary Russell was at Hooverville last year, and he did explain certain things.
So
like
the
why-
BFI, he was at the BFI only a few weeks back at the latest BFI event.
Okay. But he said, you know, the people we get animating, is it India? I think it's India.
Yeah.
They're used to a
varies.
different style of
Two
animation. Where the character's arms and
Used
legs
to
and whatever
doing sort
are long. Oh dear.
of real people.
Oh dear, oh
Yeah.
dear, oh dear. Okay, I take it my internet's doing its thing again.
Well, the way I heard it is that there was a contract to do.
Attempting to redo. Guys, if you need the stream, you're going to have to refresh, I think, possibly.
No, they're in.
Okay, good.
Stream is going.
It's a
It's
terrible thing.
unfortunate the stream is going through your computer right now, but
It's just...
It's better than the
It's
stream
Virgin.
going through your hands.
And it's this time most nights. There we go, they've gone again, you see. I really am sorry about this, boys and girls. I'm talking to
Keeps it
people on
cool.
YouTube.
for overclocking.
Yeah.
Remember, the only water in the forest is the river.
The thing is, I've absolutely got no context for what you've been talking about. You could have been talking about anything at all because I didn't hear it. So we need to move on to Big Finish.
Fans.
Oh, we have started a new stream.
Oh,
According to Streamlabs, I'll have to wait and see. I have to the playback on this. I don't think it's going to be very good. So, Big Finish. This is where the rest of them sod off and get covered. I'm hoping you're going to ask me questions. So we're going to start.
Why?
Let's because I said so. Now shut up and eat your ice cream. Let's start with Doctor Who 40. It's a the first set of a celebration of Peter Davison's Doctor. It's a 4-parter and a 2-parter. And I like that. And I hope they deliberately did the 2-parter to mirror what the Davison seasons were like, because the Davison seasons had 2-parters in them.
2 of them, anyway, yeah.
3 of them. Black Orchid, King's Demons, and The Awakening.
The Awakening.
Oh, yes, of course.
I haven't put it up for a while, so we'll put it up. You've sort of learnt it, you sort of haven't. It's there, but, you know, it doesn't matter. So, okay, the first story is, well, I suppose you could say it's a sequel, but I'd prefer to consider it as a continuation of Tomb of the Cybermen. It's set on the rocket ship on its way back to Earth.
A bit lighter than it was on the way
Yes,
there.
a fair bit lighter than... now this, I have to admit, I had to contact Toby because I wanted to find out who was still alive in the cast. There are a few of them, but everybody's...
Fraser Hines, Clive Merrison.
Clive Merrison. They could have used Clive Merrison, but for some reason they didn't. Mind you, I think his character, if I remember rightly, gets... something nasty happens to him. That's the trouble with reviewing new Big Finishers. We can't really go into too much. However, there's a problem. You see, it starts out with the Doctor, Tegan, Nyssa, and Adric in the TARDIS control room. Nyssa's just fainted. They've just come from the Ubuncan ship, so it's straight after 4 to Doomsday, which does mean I have a question to ask in a second. However, the next thing he knows, he's still in the TARDIS, but it's with just Nyssa and Tegan, and Adric's not there. And Nyssa and Tegan look a little bit different.
Days.
Indeed, Tegan says she's just come back to the TARDIS crew.
Ah.
Okay.
Post Ark Infinity.
Parker. Yeah, exactly. The question I need to ask Big Finish now is, hang on a second. 4 to Doomsday, Davison had incredibly short hair, so when he flashes forward to this thing, does he still have incredibly short hair? It's important. I need to know.
Is it quantum leap rules like they used in Once
I don't
Upon
know.
a
It
Time?
hasn't been explained yet.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I don't know if he's leaping from body to body or if he's physically replacing. We'll have to wait and see. I suspect I know who might be behind it. If it's a celebration of Davison, I think John Colshaw's going to get wheeled out at some stage.
Wasn't
I
4
would like that.
the first one he filmed?
I'm sorry, please say again.
Wasn't 4 to Doomsday the first one they filmed with Davison? Isn't that why he's got short hair?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at also Warriors of the Deep, he's got short hair there because he'd gone back to All Creatures Great and Small for a Christmas special and had to have his hair trimmed. Hair advice from the Flashing Blade podcast. This is an interesting story. What happens after they leave Telos? Suffice to say, the Cybermen aren't finished. That's where it starts, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel very sorry for Professor Parry. Because
recast.
every time the Doctor turns up, everyone around him dies. It's and of course this is the 5th Doctor, doesn't he? The 5th Doctor is.
He must think the Doctor's got a vendetta against him.
Oh dear.
There is the
This story is very good. I really do enjoy it. It keeps the pace up. It keeps the will they, won't they, will they succeed, won't they succeed thing going well. Only problem I've got, and it isn't Big Finish's fault, is they're obviously using the Telos Cybermen speech. And I'm afraid that during the Troughton era, the Cybermen voices were mostly unintelligible. Moonabase, as we say. Got a bit better for Wheel in Space, which I think Nick Briggs possibly based Nightmare in Silver on. The voice of Nightmare in Silver on. But in Invasion, what little conversation you get from a Cyberman, because they hardly talk at all in that, is very squishy squashy. If you've seen The Boy from Space, the way that the aliens talk in that, it's a bit like that. So that's good. We enjoyed that. So the 40's looking good so far. Next up, the 2-parter.
So how does it physically work? Is this a box set?
Yes.
With 2 discs or
I don't
3
know.
discs?
I've got
suppose?
it on the app.
Must be 3 discs. I
I'm
imagine.
guessing it would be. If only there was somebody from Big Finish who could tell us.
Hello.
Hello. Don't worry. So let's move on to the second one. The second one's a 2-parter, and I'm going to be honest with you. Whilst it doesn't outstay its welcome, at the same time, there could have been a bigger story in it. But they decided not to and kept it as a 2-parter, and as a result, it wraps up rather well.
Do you mean there could have been another way?
Should have been.
So, the Doctor's suddenly back with Adric, Nyssa and Tegan, but at a different point than when he started.
It's very confusing.
Yeah. I think this is just after the visitation, maybe? I could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. It's certainly after Kinder, I think. They land in a snowy wasteland. And there are, I don't know if they're Vikings, I think they're Vikings. but it's mostly the Viking women. And they're trying to find their god, and they end up finding what looks to be their god in the ice. Now, boys, you should know, anything found in the ice in Doctor Who never ends well.
No.
This is an Ice Lord.
Yeah,
not Captain Caveman.
Or
Not
Captain
Pod.
Caveman. No, it's not. Oh, the commoners are out there. And we do get some common ice warriors. But this is an Ice Lord. We like a good Ice Lord. And Briggsy does make the difference between the Ice Lord and the ordinary grunts with the speech, which is good. By this time in the story, the Doctor has found out most of what happens to Adric.
Oh.
So that implies he knows in Earthshock what's going to happen.
And doesn't care.
Yeah.
And let's
Still
happen
lets
anyway.
Adric go through with it all.
Well, it does mean that in this story, he spends more time with Adric, giving Adric more. I can't think of
Does
the
he give
phrase.
Adric advice on how to live as a cloud?
This is one of the reasons I still
Self-actualize.
say that
That's it.
needs to be called on their bullshit.
Yeah.
Adric.
There's a lot of problems with some of these stories fitting it in. Like Big River Song, meeting all the previous Doctors, he got to somehow work it all out. It doesn't quite work sometimes.
Does it matter?
Maybe not, but
I
these are the
know
hardcore
there's the
fans.
waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning screaming about it, but it doesn't really matter.
No.
And I'm pretty sure he's going to lose his memory of all these events anyway.
I think so.
I think so, because they couldn't have such a big thing revealed to him without taking it away again.
You would certainly imagine that Pete Davison would think, if I'd known that when I portrayed the Doctor in Earthshock, I would have played it differently.
Well, this is what time travel's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great little story. Adric, I'd like to say he's self-actualized. The Doctor enables him to the Doctor decides to trust him.
Okay.
It's good that he does. Adric doesn't screw up.
So he
And
doesn't treat Adric like the imbecile child.
Does Adric throw his lot in with the bad guy like
Nope.
he normally does?
No.
Eat a lot.
No. It's this is a great two-parter. Atmospheric in this whole snow thing. That gets brought across very well. And like I say, it's interesting. I mean, Big Finish have been addressing the whole Adric thing in the main Davison range. Basically, how the characters react afterwards, because of course they didn't do that on the TV show. He said, "Oh, Adric's dead. Let's go to the Great Palace, the Great Exhibition. Cheer ourselves up." Oh, great, thank you. So that's 2 great full cast stories on 40. I do recommend it purely for those. However, there's a bonus story. Is that a smile on your face, child?
That's a grimace.
The bonus story is an audiobook read by Dan Starkey, who, as we know, is bloody brilliant. Written by our very own, because he belongs to us, Dominic G. Martin.
Ah.
Hello.
Now, forgive me. I have to refer to something I've done. It's a useful comparison for me. Back during the lockdown, the original lockdowns, I was part of the classic lockdown tweet-alongs. I did a 3 Doctors piece, and also I did a piece with Peter Purvis, set just after the Time Meddler. Now, I was expecting it to be a big argument, a ding-dong argument between Bill and Stephen, but no. Andy Lane, who wrote it, took it completely the other way. and got us to see different sides of the two characters. And it was lovely. And indeed, I think retconning it is possibly one of the first indicators of why the Doctor does what he does. However, the reason I say this is because Dominic's done something similar. We have Chameleon, but we're not getting the Chameleon story we think we're going to get. Now, I know Big Finish have used Chameleon in the past, and I don't know where they've left him, apart from in a room in the TARDIS gathering dust. Yes, Dr. Sinister.
Do they make Chameleon turn into an unparalleled success copy of the Doctor?
Paramount success, you mean?
Paramount success.
Paramount. Oh, you were so close. You were so close. No, Chameleon wakes up in the body of a human or humanoid. It's not a body he's impersonating, it's the genuine deal. The husband to a rather nice lady. And she's trying to work out what's wrong with him, and he's trying to work out what's going on. In the meantime, you've got the Doctor and Turlo trying to suss things out as well. Well, we've got him here, and I asked him here for a reason. Why do you go this route with this? I'm not complaining about it at all. I think it's a nice little way you've done to get a little character piece for Chameleon. So why go that way? You know, basically, Pinocchio becomes a real boy.
Essentially, I really just wanted to tell. I mean, I was given the opportunity to do an interlude for the Fifth Doctor, and I was just like, okay, what can I do? Because I got to do something fairly high concept, and I don't want to do anything too standard. So why not take a risk and use probably one of the most despised characters in Doctor Who, and see what I can do. So I do find Chameleon genuinely fascinating. I mean, not in the least because everyone who worked with him in the series has basically died, seemingly in strange, unconnected.
They died before they'd finished using Chameleon. So the second time he appears in Planet of Fire, nobody has the faintest idea how he works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
the curse of Chameleon.
Yeah,
if you're not here
scary.
next week, I'll know why.
It's true. Yeah, but I just wanted to really see what I could do with this character and give him more of a meaning, and more of a personality, and see what he can do in a situation.
I read it as Chameleon finding himself.
In a way, that is accurate today. Yeah.
I didn't get that wrong. Good.
No. It's certainly a case of this is Chameleon. This is meant to be sort of like the peak of his existence. This is the greatest thing he will ever do. And that is, I mean, it'll ultimately be a very unseen, unheard of legacy. But both in universe and outside. But again, that's just the way Chameleon has been kind of like thought of in the Doctor Who community. Really, no one.
He was a throwaway, wasn't he? I mean, Craig Hinton used him in the Crystal Bucephalus, or Buckythalus, take your pick, and used him well. But like I say, I am not up to date with what Big Finish has done with him. I'm hoping, certainly from where you're coming from, Dominic, it's not happened like that. I'm hoping they haven't done the same thing as that's all the expanded universe media have done with Chris Quedge. Yes, Dr. Sinister.
So, I have to ask this. I apologise. There's an episode of Red Dwarf where Crichton becomes a human and gets a double Polaroid.
How's he going to pick up Jazz FM?
If the question is if I ever seen that episode, the answer is I've only ever seen about 2 episodes of Red Dwarf in my life.
Oh, we must change this!
I saw the one not so long ago with the sirens, I believe.
Yeah.
Pete Tranter's sister.
Yeah, Pete Tranter's sister.
Yeah. It's just kind of refers to the fact there's only like 12 or 13 ideas in science fiction, and it's just variants of each one.
No, I was purely trying to make a joke.
How did it go, Sin? How did it go?
Very badly.
It's quite
Oh, dear. Dominic, I think this is a lovely little story. I really do. It's nice to get into Chameleon's mind. And like I say, see him discovering himself, which is really what it feels like.
Yeah.
Great job, mate. Seriously.
Thank you.
Great job.
Glad you enjoyed
And brilliantly read by Dan Starkey, but you expect nothing
He would-
less from him.
Oh, his Fifth Doctor is just great.
Yes,
It's like,
yes. I mean,
Was it so-
I've said this, and if only there was someone from Big Finish I could say this to. I would like to see Strax in every single Big Finish release, no matter what the range. Sherlock Holmes and Strax. Space 1999 with Strax. He should
That would
be
be
everywhere. The world is better with Strax in it. It's that
Sapphire
simple.
Steel with Strax.
He's a very
I
good-
love Dan Starkey's Sontarans. I mean, we reviewed. I can't remember what it was called. The one with the Anto. And
Oh.
The Great
Sontaran-
Sontaran War.
Not the
Great
great. Yes, the Great
Sontaran
Sontaran
War.
War. And Dan Starkey's brilliant in it. And it's not Strax. It should be, but somehow it isn't. He manages to differentiate between them. Guy's a genius. That's
he really is.
So, like I say, Big Finish have been trying to kill us recently. I can't understand why. We're always normally very nice about them, and Brian hasn't been around to slag them off. Brian's got a problem with the writing, and that's all it is. And I think it's because he's American.
It's more, and I keep holding people to a higher standard than should humanly be possible.
Well, there's your challenge, Tom.
Meet Brian Standard.
Yes.
Be
Which is
great
ironic,
in
really, because we have none on here.
Get me down a path I can't win.
Yeah, it does sound that way.
Talk later. Well,
Okay, so next up, I don't know what the Big Finish release is next week. If it is the Peladon set, we're going to ask Dominic to come back next Sunday to talk about that because he produced it. However,
Assistant produced.
the
I'm
assistant
not taking-
produced.
Assistant to
there's
producer.
the word "produced" there. That's more than any of us have ever gotten.
I
close
got a
to.
credit on the Vera Lynn DVD as studio assistant. All I did was make a cup of coffee for somebody,
Aw.
but I got my
I-
credit. So
I got my name on the Cybertech CD, and all I did was pre-order it in the 1990s.
Nice. Every little thing, it counts.
people do like getting their names on things, don't they?
Yes.
The whole Patreon thing and everything else like that.
Yeah, Kickstarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
We may be starting a Patreon, but I need to talk to the boys about it. It's basically to help me rather than the show.
What are we doing? OnlyFans? No, is that
The
falling
cats.
through?
It's try getting a cat to pose.
Can we buy you a new internet connection with it?
A new internet connection would be nice. No, what I'm trying to get hold of is a second-hand Xbox. My Xbox has stopped working, and I don't want it to play games on. I just want to use it as a media center because it works really well as a media center. At the moment, I'm either having to Chromecast stuff or use Virgin. It's TiVo box, and it's clunky as hell. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't know. It's a case of working out if we're going to do a Patreon, what are we going to do to make it worthwhile for people? I mean, I can sing the Archimandrite's Hat song, but I think people
You
might want
do.
a bit more about that. I mean, we did the GoFundMe for Daffy, and that worked. And Dean Hill was nuts about that. Paid an awful lot of money just so he could name the thing. Right. So, we're not finished with Big Finish. They released it. Look, if you'd have told me 10 years ago, if you told me 5 years ago, if you told me 3 weeks ago, I would spend 7 hours of my life listening to Matthew Waterhouse in my ears. I would have poo-pooed
Pillow
you.
talk.
There would have been poo-poo.
That's so funny.
However, such a thing has happened. Matthew's written, I suppose as a book it wouldn't be that long, but as an audio book it's 7 hours long.
Yeah.
Uh,
Novella, maybe?
It's a season 18 story featuring the Doctor and Adric, which we've said it before, is the best Doctor for Adric to be with, the Fourth Doctor. There was a great relationship waiting to be built there, and it didn't happen. Okay, I'm trying to work out where to start with this. It's because I have got a couple of nitty-bitty picks I've got to do. For example, continuity is a little bit rough around the edges. The Daleks didn't invade in 2164. They invaded, I think, 2157. And before they invaded,
Time's in flux.
and before they invaded, there was a massive plague around the world. Oh shit. Anyway,
I've been saying this for some time now. That's how it started.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, that does jar a little bit, but that's only because I'm a Doctor Who fan. If you're not a big Doctor Who fan, I don't know why you're listening to this, but it won't jar with you. I'm trying to get the negatives. Oh, thank you, Christian. Trying to get the negatives out of the way because there are not that many of them. Incidental music. I think it was Nigel Fairs who did it. Most of the time it's superb and matches the atmosphere that Waterhouse is going for. However, I don't know if it was the composer himself or the director, but they try, every now and again, they try to reference Adric's theme, or the Outlaws theme from season 18. But they don't want to actually do it, so it starts off 3 or 4 notes sounding the same, then goes somewhere else, so you're, whoa, that's not right. It's also, I don't know what it is about that particular cue, but it comes, the music comes through a bit more forcefully than all the other music, so it stands out. And it's, that is a thing. However, those are my only 2 down points. Waterhouse has written a magnificent story. Basically, there's a load of time ships, a Sargasso Sea of time ships in the vortex. And they're all held together by some sort of magnetic, inner magnetic force. Thank you very much. And, however, this story is called Watchers. And if anybody knows season 18, that word should start ringing alarm bells.
Uh-oh.
We find out, and this is Waterhouse himself doing this, but we find out that the Watchers are actually a department. Almost like the CIA, the Dirty Tricks Department, or the Division. This is another section that actually does interfere. And we meet an agent called Milady, who I get the feeling the author fell in love with the character. This doesn't mean it's bad by any stretch of the matter. She's a lovely character. Rather sweet, actually. She's not an evil git of a Gallifreyan, which makes a change. And Matthew spends a lot of time with her. Possibly to the detriment of the Fourth Doctor. However, this is a 7-hour thing. So we've got time for all sorts of hijinks and shenanigans. The Daleks are there because I read a review, and I think it was Sci-Fi Bulletin, I could be wrong, saying that the Daleks could be replaced by any monster. And listening to this, I disagree. It's a Dalek thing. Some sort of time thing like that. It's a Dalek thing. Other races don't really. If you're going to have a bad guy for something like this, it's got to be the Daleks. Xbox One, thank you very much, Brian. So, Nick Briggs has a whale of a time. Apart from voicing all the Daleks, they seem to be doing this with every Big Finish release now, coming up with some sort of boss Dalek that gives Briggsy a chance to let loose. And my God, he chews the scenery on this one as the Dalek, as the head boss Dalek. He really goes for it. On the other hand, Waterhouse's reading of the story is very underplayed. Very soft, very underplayed. Now, this is the point people might disagree with me. You could call the language he uses pretentious in how he's written it.
And he has quite a flowery prose.
I disagree. Because what he's saying, what he's writing, and the fact he's not just doing the odd little bit, the whole thing's like this. It starts to flow as this beautiful stream of language, if that makes sense, and helps invoke the mood even more. The only problem I had with this was I was imagining it as season 18 with their sets and budget and special effects. That's how good he got it. I could easily imagine this being a season 18 story, apart from the mentions of entropy. It's just the general mood, the general atmosphere. This is set just before Legopolis. This is brilliant. It's a lot better, and I'm so sorry, but it's a lot better than the Pertwee, the long Pertwee audio book we had with the Cybermen. Watchers is something special, and I do recommend it. Matthew Waterhouse, the boy done good. That's all I'm going to say.
Good.
There we go. I've actually managed to review Big Finish on my own.
So, question then.
Please, yes.
If the Watchers are actually real people, does that mean the Watcher was not really a future projection of the Doctor, or what?
Uh-oh.
Can I suggest you listen to this?
I don't have 7 hours in my life to listen to this.
The Watchers department can interfere with the regeneration.
Right.
And the state of the Doctor at the end of this means a certain communique is sent back to Gallifrey. I'm not saying anything else. I really do. I mean, I'll tell you when we're out of the show if you want to know. But I don't want to spoil it for anyone else.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's really, really good week of Big Finish. Lots of it, which is nice for me because I've got nothing to do. But yeah, they knocked it out of the court this time round. I really did. This week, Doctor Who 40 and Watchers, absolutely superb. Very happy with that. See, I told you it wouldn't hurt. Come on. Mind you, I have no idea what I'm going to say about Peloton. Right, so that's Doctor Who. Next week, no idea. Could be Peloton, could be something else. Who knows? Right. So Nathan Springer's finally got to Moonbase. And he's had a call to go over to, I think, the Indian Moonbase.
Outpost 9. It's not an Indian moon base. It's just a research facility.
Okay.
It's just called Outpost 9.
I say that because most of the moon bases do seem to be split up between nations. So
No,
I'm
they
thinking
seem
of Moonbase 3, one or the other.
They seem to have the moon base and lots of commercial, industrial facilities elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so he's been called there because one of the chief scientists there wants to give him a warning that his experiment has discovered, except he can't tell Nathan about it because it's
Dr.
highly
Chandri.
complex. Yes.
Dr. Chandri, whose name we have seen already, because Chandri is a maker of quite a lot of space equipment in the series.
Which does give you a clue as to what's going to go happening here. To a certain extent, it's almost like was it last week's? With the guy sending his equipment off into space to get human testing.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. He basically, Chandri's developed this incredibly intelligent AI.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That can listen to everybody, view everything, and work out predictions from that.
It's pretty much echelon. as was uncovered, but some 20, 30 years before it really happened.
Echelon.
Echelon is a communications network run by the UK and the US and other agencies, and it will basically listen to any communication it possibly can, and it's looking out for keywords and it's looking out for threats to the natural order of things and will alert the authorities accordingly, which is why if I was to say the words assassinate the president right about now, that is going to be flagged to Echelon and we will probably all get a call.
Good evening, GCHQ. How's it going? You might want to talk to the NSA, Brian. By the way, Brian, thank you for whatever the fuck that is. I still haven't worked out Twitch, what any of this means. I'm only using it as a platform to do the show, not for anything else. Right.
The
In the meantime,
off
the warning
with,
is that there's some sort of terrorist action that's going to be happening on the Earth-Moon shuttles.
You've missed out the entire beginning of the episode.
I haven't forgotten. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will say that it lingers a little bit too much on the model work of the buggy. It's a case of, we've got a really good model here, we're just going to keep using it. It's a case of, no, it's a great model. It's lovely. You don't need quite so much footage of it. You know, we're going to see it in other programs, I'm sure.
We'll keep
you don't need to have God knows how many minutes worth of buggy going across the moon.
It's telling the story of how remote it is and how far away from the main moon base they are.
Got to listen to them trying to defend it. It's wonderful.
It's not just next door.
However, the first thing Nathan Spring has decided to do on Moonbase is to clean up the Starcops.
Now they are going professional, yes.
Yeah.
Full time.
Well, he wasn't exactly planning on saying thank you before he said you're fired.
No. And indeed, a couple of people get fired. One of whom is really in for things for herself. She's obviously taken a backhander from the Australian government to promote the use of a new non-projectile gun.
Yep.
Which in space is incredibly useful, because you don't want a projectile missing and going through the side of a bloody ship.
Yep.
And she's still, even when she gets sacked, she's still trying to do stuff with it. The irony is, Nathan Spring thinks, actually, this is a really good idea. And indeed, it gets proven to be. I really enjoyed this episode. It's my favourite really of the three we've seen so far. The interaction's interesting. I know that Takis...
Colin Davis.
Yeah, I know he's going to have some problematical language in future episodes. Such stuff we'd look back on now and go, ooh.
But even at the time, he is meant to be a bit of a dinosaur sort of character.
Yeah, he was a Gene Hunt sort of.
He is a ball. He's a bit of a ball, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And to show that back then, you had to be a bit more than you would be today to show that.
I suppose you're right, though. But it's come together very nicely. I look forward to seeing where now it's come together, where it's going to.
Yeah, we finally got the main four cast, main four Starcops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are more to them, but they are the main ones.
Yeah, they're the main ones.
Brian, did you get a chance to watch this?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Fine. I didn't fall asleep during it.
Hey!
Always an improvement.
You're improving, Brian. Your brain's starting to work. It's all down to my influence, of course. You can't take any credit.
No.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know what else to say about it. Boys, can you fill us in on anything about it?
I like the way Starcops is all about future crimes, as it was seen from '87. So we've got computer worms, we've got intelligent listening systems, Echelon, basically. We've got covert companies trying to supply military-grade stuff and faking it until you make it, and they don't make it, so they have to, which is kind of reminiscent of some people who been on trial recently in America for.
Fair enough.
Yeah, indeed. Except they didn't cover their tracks by blowing themselves up.
No.
Good trick if you could do it.
Yeah. So I love the it's more corporate level conspiracy this time rather than government,
Yes,
as it was
I'd agree with
previously.
Well, up to a point. I mean, you had that, but it was also the Australian government with the guns.
Well, the Australian government were doing a pretty normal thing. They were promoting guns made in their country. Kenzie obviously was trying to push it for her own. She was getting a cut, essentially. But Nathan Spring went around her to cut her out of the deal.
Just. And fair dues, she went right around him and
yeah, I do love the ending.
Sucked it to him. As a result, no, she's not sacked from Stark Ops.
Yeah. Interestingly, we had an American part-time Star Cop, Hubble, who got canned, and I think, not counting Theroux, who doesn't count himself as American because he was actually working on the European station. Hubble was the only other American Star Cop, so there are now no American Star Cops.
And that's a big plot point for the next episode.
It is. It is.
Sure,
Yeah. So it's all leading to something.
I've got this to watch after the show.
Yeah, not really a spoiler. It's more of a setup.
It's a setup. You're not giving anything away.
So we're going to be going into episode 4. So what? Are we switching to Graham Harper now?
Next one is Graham Harper. Yeah.
So different director, different directing team. You'll notice the difference, Brian.
Okay.
Well, Graham Harper's one of the best directors Doctor Who ever had, both old series and new. So it'll be interesting to see what he can bring to this. Quite frankly, I look forward to finding out. There's not too much more I can really say about this, except I really enjoyed it.
We had some nice Havoc level stunts at the beginning. People jumping about on the crash mats.
That's true. We
on
could
fire.
have played Spot Terry.
Yeah.
And so
And the chemical plant went up.
Yeah,
And also they had the Channel Tunnel some years before it actually opened.
Yeah, I've got that in my notes actually. That it hadn't even commenced construction at that point. It was still just an idea, and they predicted the Channel Tunnel.
Dr. Sinister, you have notes. Read them out, please.
Oh, not too many notes. Not too many notes. Just I did find it interesting that Nathan Spring, being a man of the year 2027, had to have explained to him what a computer virus was.
Space year, Andrew. It's the space year 2027.
Yeah. And interestingly, it's got its own chip as well, rather than just being...
rather than being software.
Yeah.
It's interesting. If you read something like Transit, A New Adventure, it's very similar stuff, and this is a few years after Star Cops. But I mean, we're heading down William Gibson's cyberpunk stuff.
Neuromancer stuff.
Exactly?
Sorry?
Sorry?
What year was this exactly?
1987.
Set in 2027. Yeah.
Okay, so it's very pre-hackers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
This was pretty cutting-edge stuff at the time. You might get a floppy disk virus, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, we'll be...
Oh, you're awake! We thought you dozed off. I was telling the others to be quiet. I wouldn't be at all surprised everything you've been up to. Goodness, you must be exhausted. Have you seen Star Cops at all, Dominic?
No, never. Entirely new to me. Entirely foreign.
You better make a start on it. You might end up working on the range.
Yeah.
Oh.
They do a Star Cops range, do Big Finish.
I hope they do more, yeah.
I've seen
Well, isn't there
stuff.
a recent one? Wasn't there one recently?
There was
There's
an
going to
audiobook
be?
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good too. I recommend it, the whole lot.
Big Finish are coming out of this well tonight, aren't they? It's because Brian's not listening to them anymore. That's what it is.
So it's immediately a net profit.
I would like to make a point now.
The point.
A point. Is it me, or is Paul Darrow turning into Bill Shatner?
Are we moving on from Star Cops, are we?
Unless you have more.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say that I've said before, the first 3, maybe 4 episodes of Star Cops are a really strong introduction to a series, in my opinion.
Yeah, really good.
Next week's episode, I love next week's episode. I don't know
My
how
favourite.
Brian would think, because it does stereotype Americans slightly.
It does badly for comic
Badly.
effect.
Yeah. There are, yeah.
I shall take it with a grain of salt and prepare the 2 middle fingers.
But there is some skullduggery going on the American station, shall we say?
Ooh, skullduggery. Are they the shenanigans?
There are shenanigans.
See, I've always thought
but,
of shenanigans as a lighter form of skullduggery. Skullduggery is the really naughty stuff, but shenanigans is just having a bit of fun.
Well,
But what you're gonna-
is more the sneaky, little weaselly stuff. Shenanigans are just good fun.
Yeah.
It's
I'm with you there.
skullduggery. It's
Skullduggery.
definitely skullduggery. Yeah.
I wonder where that word's from.
You're going to see a lot more of Pal Kenzie, and her relationship with Spring is going to develop in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Bless you, Dominic.
Surely he's in mourning.
And it was interesting. I lived in Bristol at the time, and the very, very opening shot of the chemical plant is actually an office block in Bristol, which I
Really?
recognise. It is, yeah.
The magic of television.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I liked this one. The fact that the villain was so determined to prove that he'd done what he said he'd done, he was going to blow his own base up to hide the fact that he hadn't done what he said he'd done.
Yeah.
Very convoluted, but yeah, really good.
Caught in a logic loop there. Oh dear.
A lunatic, as they might say in this particular episode.
Oh yes, they do mention old Luna thing, don't they?
Yeah.
Madness brought on by the moon. Yeah.
I love some of Spring's dialogue again.
Child.
On the paper, it probably wasn't that great, but the way that David Calder delivers something.
I mean, quite frankly, the guy's he's a
And
git.
I have to say,
Yeah.
the bit when he reveals to Kenzie that her entire bribery thing's been recorded, there's a look on Nathan Spring's face when it's just him and Theroux left in the room, and you can see him thinking, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna fucking get it now." just before they have their massive kind of row, and then he promotes him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's not good.
Great
Right.
performances all round.
Are we done with Star Cops now?
Yeah.
Like I say, Paul Darrow has turned into Bill Shatner. The waistline's expanding, the hair's looking dodgy. And the scenery is starting to get chewed. How is Avon's mental state in this episode of Blake 7? We're talking Games Series D. Boys, do you think
Declining
he's losing it?
rapidly.
Okay, fair enough.
He wasn't in it that much, was he?
Characterization in this.
Oh yeah, he was in this one a fair bit.
He was, but
Sue Lin got something to do. The trouble with Sue Lin is she's basically the same as Dana. Dana can use any weapon. Sue Lin's a gunfighter. Basically, they're trying to get hold of something, the Scorpio crew, or they're trying to stop the Federation from getting it.
Felden.
Felden
yeah,
crystals.
this energy, this crystal that can magnify energy.
Yeah.
and he finished around.
But the guy running the operation, Belkov, is a little bit of a loony. He's obsessed with games, playing games against his computer, playing games against real people. And so almost everything in this has a double layer to it because of him. Something gets revealed, then something else will get revealed. You go along with that, and then, Belkov's pulled another one. This, I think, is a Robert Holmes script. I think it is. If anybody wants to check that out, you're more than welcome. As a result, it's good. It is good. I mean, both Blake 7 and Doctor Who, the cast always used to say...
Bill Lyons.
Bill Lyons wrote it. Oh, okay.
It can't have been Holmes because there wasn't a witty double act.
That is true.
Oh.
Let's count the computer and...
Well, that's what I was thinking, Belkov and his computer. I enjoyed this. I surprised myself. I didn't think I would, but I did enjoy this. Servalan's still trying to rebuild her empire. I'm still trying to work out how that works. She was Lord Supreme President of the Federation, and yet,
Now
for some reason, nobody seems to recognise her.
She's killed everyone that has recognised her.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but you'd think a lot more people would. Especially those higher up. I mean, obviously,
Star One got blown up. Record keeping's gone all to pot. I don't know what's happened. There's all sorts of
yeah. Like I say, this is a nice, fun one. It's not too heavy on you. It's not terrible, which is good. Yeah, you can just chunk this one on to enjoy yourself for 45 minutes or whatever. It's a good one. Who wants to go? Dr. Sinister. Always go to the class favourite.
So I've watched all of Blake 7 many times over, and I hardly remember this episode.
Weird.
Which is
It's got
weird.
Stratford Johns in it. How can you not remember
Yeah,
this?
he's great in it. Yeah.
He is great in it.
It just doesn't. It just didn't stick in my mind at all. I mean, I remember seeing it. Obviously, I've watched it many times, but I just don't. It just. I'm not really. It's okay, you know. It's more interesting. I was more interested in the fact that it's where the location is where they filmed Destiny of the Daleks. But,
I was going to come up with that.
Yeah,
We've got to go there
basically.
at some stage.
Yeah.
We've got to go there and take some photographs.
I did like the scene where Belkov is walking the crew supposedly to his shuttle, and he walks into a room and he says, "Oh, we're right under the main thrusters here," and
And they
everyone
all
looks
go,
up and
"Oh,
walks
yeah."
out and shuts the door.
Brilliant.
Yeah. They're pretty curious, aren't they?
That was good.
And the fact that ultimately his own computer says, "No, I'm not going to do what you want, and you're going to die," basically, and just kind of funny. I just thought that was amusing.
I think Belkov thought it was amusing as well. Again, I do apologise. Normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. This is... oh dear.
That's Deadway.
Hang on a second. Let's pop this on.
You're back.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, people of the internet.
basically that.
I've got a replica metal one. Have you printed
Have
that
you?
one?
Oh, wow. I need to reprint this. It didn't print very well, but...
I'll go and get mine.
Oh, yeah.
I am so sorry. The internet's just doing nightmare things.
It's very weird. It's affecting you, but not me. We're the same...
Yeah, but I mean, you got to remember,
Exchange.
it branches out and branches out and branches out. You're on a different branch to me,
Presumably, yeah.
I'm guessing.
There you go.
And like I say, it's normally around this time.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Scorpio gun.
Got one of these as well.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
Servalan's gun. Or
Federation
Federation officer. gun,
Federation standard weapon.
Yeah. That is fun. That's nice. I like that.
Got a Liberator gun over there as well, but it's under a pile of stuff.
I made one out of the toilet roll and the lid of something and a tin, a tin can, empty tin can. I was pathetic. You got what?
I got robots.
Yes, you do. You have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of robots. So anyway, has anybody got anything else to say about Blakeson before the internet collapses entirely?
Thank God Sulin finally got something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a mean draw with that gun.
Yeah, I mean, it was one scene in an entire season so far.
Yes, I'd agree with you.
She's very much there for eye candy, I think. Well, yes.
You know, honestly, it's a check. It's paying her rent.
Yeah.
I think you're right, but she's refused to come back and play Sulin. I
better
think
off
she
for it.
has anyway.
I don't
I
have
know
rights
they've
to it,
recast Dana because Josette Simon won't have anything to do with it.
Okay,
I thought I didn't have rights
I
for
have a
season
question.
D.
Oh, hang on. We've got 2 points being made here. Brian, can you hang on to your question?
Of course.
Because Adam's already said what his thing is. The rights to Series D. You're saying Blake 7 don't have the rights to Series D. How can that be a different
Finish.
rights package?
I don't know. That's what
very
I've heard.
Peculiar indeed. Well, Big Finish Day is coming. And we're hoping to be there. We'd like Adam and
Yes.
myself will be there, and we'd like Dr.
I have a
Sinister will
ticket.
be as well. It depends on whether he wants to or not. So, I might just ask about that. 'Cause, I mean, I just find it unusual that would be the case. Surely the rights package would include all 4 series. What's so different about Series 4?
Don't know.
So next week we're watching
Oh,
Sand.
wait. I had a question.
Oh yes, you had a
Oh, yeah.
question. Yes, please.
So, Avon,
No, he's not here.
Calling.
is that his real hair, or is that a wig, or a piece?
It has become a little bit blow dried, hasn't it?
A little.
I believe the term is bouffon.
See, I wasn't going to go Buffon. I wasn't going to say Buffon. Bring to mind Pertwee, and he's putting on a bit of weight. To be fair, and this is what happens when you take over as the lead in a series and have an even bigger regular wage.
He's eating because of the stress.
I mean, look at Jonathan Frakes in Next Gen. Starts off rather slim. He used to dress up as Captain America for Marvel at one point. And then he gets this, and suddenly he starts bulking up. Leading to the unfortunate fact he can't seem to walk straight without lurching slightly
Well, that's
sideways.
because he has back issues.
Or he can't
That's
also.
why he always does the leg over the back of the chair thing. He has back issues about sitting down and stuff.
That's fair enough. I did not know this.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
Will
like that.
Wheaton's Facebook
Will
page.
Wheaton.
Yes,
Okay.
several times.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a picture of Paul Darry here from 2011 we took.
Yes.
And I'm sure he's not losing his hair. That's his real hair. You can see the roots very clearly.
Well, it is also, you got to start thinking of the time this was made. It's a bit blow wavy, basically, which is about right for
Big shoulder
the time
pad,
period it was made in. Yeah, exactly.
lapels.
This is what space people wear.
Mm.
Oh, that was another thing I did like in Star Cops, the very fact that they made their hair stick on end
And
in
we
the
all know
Zero G.
Yeah.
he's a leather boy right there.
No, he's just pleased to see you, Retta. Yes, that's a gun, but it's not a real gun.
It's a gun from
Oh,
Blake
is it?
7.
It's a Blake 7
it's real. It's real in that it exists.
You say that. Could be CGI for all we know.
In your hand does not pass through it. It is real.
She pays attention as soon as guns turn up. Bloody Americans,
A
honestly.
friend of mine has that same theory about female enhancement. We'll go with that.
Yeah, is it real? Yeah.
It's real enough that my hand doesn't pass through.
If it does, you got a real problem.
Preverts.
Just saying.
I knew this was a bad idea, getting you two on the same show. Oh, dear me.
Well, RPG, we don't get the chance to really go to interact like that.
Well, no, that's because Retta's too busy blowing things up.
Well, we have Retta, and we have Spanky, and we have you, and we have Hax, and
Never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
That's a good RPG.
we
It's
had
fun.
Spanky on the show before.
I don't think we have we?
Yes, we have.
Oh, did we have
We had
Spanky?
Spanky on the show.
Jesus. Okay, if you say so.
We did issue the warning before the show.
Oh, it was one of the early shows, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
was one of the early shows. This is why our viewership hasn't gone up since. I love Spanky. He's just an amazing man. Okay, what are you doing next week? Young Dominic, what are you up to next week?
Probably more filming and more related stuff. I've got a busy schedule this week. I'm attending about 2 recordings, so that's
Brilliant. I like it. I do like it. I love the fact you're so busy. It just cheers me up. Like Brian says, you're going to be the showrunner soon. Dr. Sinister, what are you doing this week in a sinister
No
fashion?
pressure, Dominic. No pressure.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Turning into blancmange,
Hey, what flavour?
raspberry.
A, I'm not over fond of raspberry, and B, I would rather Angel Delight and chocolate preferably.
Yeah.
Or a nice
Make it into a
chocolate
milkshake.
mousse. Hot, warm chocolate mousse. I've seen what you've written there, Retta, in chat, and I am not going to rise to it. I am, however, going to fuck up one of your jokes. Going to fuck it up big time on Saturday. Just you wait. I made a start on it last week. Anyway, yes. So Sand, whatever the big finish is, the 4th Star Cops episode, and Terror of the Vervoids. Watch out for Janet. That's next week. Adam, what are you doing during the week?
I have a podcast to record tomorrow evening. We're doing Around the World in 80 Days with David Tennant.
Oh, that's fun.
Yep. And season 17 extras, special features on the box set.
Fair enough. Boys and girls,
And,
what I'd like you to
quiz.
do, especially if you know of the Staggering Stories podcast, I would be very grateful if you send an email to show@staggeringstories.net
Yeah.
requesting that, seeing as it's now been released in high definition Blu-ray, Staggering Stories rewatches The Horns of Nimon.
Good luck on that. We have one member who refuses to watch it.
Well, when that happens on here, we don't bother. We just carry on going. They just sit there and twiddle their thumbs. Do the same with Star Cops.
Yeah.
You know? It's,
You may have heard about the Life on Mars incidents.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, it was Ashes to Ashes. You turned around and said, no!
No.
The first season of Ashes to Ashes is a bit rough.
He didn't even get that far. He managed to last until the end of Life on Mars and said no more.
Oh, okay.
And I still don't know if it's a cultural thing or if, for some reason, the writing and the whole thing just didn't work for him.
Nothing just worked for it. It just...
You need to talk to Ashley Farrow. Wow. I remembered a name.
He's involved in 80 Days Around the World.
I can tell him about it. I mean...
Do you know what Adam does once they've recorded the podcast?
I edit it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you what? You what?
Edit.
Edit. What is
takes a
this
week.
edit of which you speak?
We get out the dead air and the ums and the ahs. And...
Oh, I remember. I remember very much editing it to your standards, and then you'd go and do another pass on it. Because it wasn't good enough. I remember what it
still
was.
do
like.
it.
Chicken
When
bone.
Karen doesn't edit.
I mean, I stopped editing before the
Pandemic.
before the podcast had stopped. Indeed, probably the same on the DW Who cast. We went verite. A bit like this, basically. No editing. Just go in, chuck the opening, closing bits on, and just enjoy it. And it's because I was burning out. I really was burning out. Well, editing 2 shows a week. It was a lot.
Yeah. Once a fortnight is enough for me.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Right. Have we had any office parties this week?
No.
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 There's this giant spider called Boris is asking me something.
I would squish him.
Okay.
Very
But
much
you
so.
asked me what I'm doing next week.
Oh.
We're getting there.
Aw.
Dominic, what are you doing next week? I've already asked you, haven't I? Go on, what are you doing?
No, I'm not going to tell you now.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know now, all right? I don't. Yes, Retta. What about you?
What about Retta? What is she doing next week?
Come back in 15 minutes
Can it be
when she's
published?
finished typing it up. Yeah,
I'm
well, she's
actually
going to be on the role playing,
watching-
hopefully on the role playing game next Saturday.
I'm working on the RPG. I've got some exciting stuff for you guys planned. I'm finishing up watching Archive 81 on Netflix.
Archive, what was it again? Archive?
Archive 81.
Thank you very much.
It's a
I will
podcast
look at
that made the jump to Netflix.
Something about it makes me think of the stone tape, the way you described it. But I'll
Which
go
I
and
thought
watch
was Storage 34, whatever it's called, that thing with not to be mentioned Noel Clark.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't know that.
It's not a very well-known film.
Hey, you know I can't stand the W word, yeah? I'm not going to say it.
Peruvian.
Oh,
okay.
I'm clean.
Oh, that one.
I don't like having a label. However, I have started to think of myself as one of the we, as opposed to not we. And I've worked out it makes sense, because the whole we, not we thing is from Kinder. And the we were the locals, the natives, who shared their dreams. And if that isn't a brilliant description of fandom, I don't know what is.
Problem is, every time I looked on the
Dear.
forums, it was more of a nightmare.
Seems more appropriate, yeah.
I like the we. It's good. It's fun.
You like a bit of weed, do you?
Our local councillor has started going on about Yaz.
I've always liked the Xbox more.
Oh, I know that we had some fun stuff. I mean, you
Sports
could
was
basically play your way to a heart attack doing the boxing.
Yeah, but I got an Oculus for that.
You got inoculated for it.
Oculus.
Christian's going off to watch Terror of the Vervoids. Let us know which version you watch, mate. And apparently
you were
Retta is
PS girl,
post-stress girl.
PS girl.
I don't know what that means.
PlayStation.
Oh.
I thought she was a Dreamcast person, but hey.
Saturn, all the time. Actually, I got a Jaguar. Sorry, Jaguar.
You do, and I remember enjoying the games you used to play. I mean, the Alien versus Predator on that was
Maybe,
superb
it's
for
great.
its time.
And I've got one of the CD adapters. I don't know if it still works, but they're pretty rare, particularly if they work.
That's my Oculus.
No.
Yeah.
Look, that's
Where's mine?
doubles as a headrest.
Yeah.
Either that was
First gen
positive.
one. Well, first production.
That's
Proper.
the Valve, though, isn't it? Not Valve.
No,
sorry.
this is the
Vive.
Rift.
Oh, it's the Rift. You
I got the Rift
I thought
from
you
a-
got a Vive.
I got
I
both.
got the Rift on the PC. I got the Rift, I got the PSVR, and I got that one.
Yeah.
I would very much like to ask if we could meet up and play Star Trek Bridge Crew.
If we're talking about new gaming things, I made an unwise financial expenditure this week.
We've
Oh.
all done
Oh,
that,
yeah.
love. Go on.
Ooh.
Was that PS5?
Ooh, Xbox or PS? Oh, PS. Interesting.
Did you go scalper or legit
No,
channel?
actually, up in my local game store, and
wow.
because they actually have some still in stock in stores. There you go, proof of purchase.
No, that's proof you have it. It doesn't mean you purchased it. I'm going to just quickly check to see if there were any riots in your area this week. Retta, take care, my love. We'll speak to you either during the week or next Saturday, okay? I have not eaten at the table so much since I was a kid. Oh, bless. Fancy having to live with your in-laws. Fancy having in-laws, quite frankly. Yeah, I have cats. Ah, dear. Yeah, I want to play Star Trek Bridge Crew with you guys. We've all got it. It would just be nice to play it. I know, sweetheart. I know. It would be fun. I must profess. Like I say, I'm after an Xbox One, second-hand one. Star Trek, I think it's Bridge Crew, Retta. It's multi-platform.
VR.
It can be VR, but it doesn't have to be.
Not anymore.
There's,
Originally it was
there's also a
exclusively.
good DLC which is worth getting with it because that gives you the classic Enterprise and the Enterprise D
Yeah.
to play.
Get to play Data as fully functional. actually, yeah.
Well,
Wow.
sort of. You had to go there, didn't you?
Data did.
It's cool. I think once you do the tutorial, and then once you've done the tutorial, jump into a game. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be multiplayer. You can play it by yourself, but there's no need to. There's a lobby, and you end up basically playing with other players around the world on different systems and everything else like that.
Can you not choose your team?
I
Crew?
think you can. Yes, I think you can do that.
Okay.
And the game itself isn't hugely brilliant, but it's the fact you're having to try and fly this starship very badly, and the interaction between you that makes the game. It's the people that make this game. The game, like SWG, the game provides you with something to hang your hat on. You do.
I saw it in green. It's the people that make it.
Yes. That's a great catchphrase for it. You should try selling that. I like that a lot. So what am I doing next week? I have a phone interview tomorrow morning.
No.
Oh, people who want to help me. And
I don't get people like that.
And well, you don't need help. Though we've been saying for
I'm not
many,
sure.
many years. I think that's it for this week. I need to wish my dad a happy 90th birthday. It was on the 13th.
90th.
but,
Wow.
he won't watch this.
Shame you can't all get together.
Well, he's an island. He's gone to Ireland where my sister is. And they've looked after him since over Christmas and this because it's not been a good year, as you know. He'll be coming back sometime soon, I should think, back to Jersey, and then he's going to be on his own again, which does worry me. Forgive me, I have legs. Okay. Next Friday, there's no Two-Fan Dinosaurs. It's terrible, but it's our break between stories. After that, we'll be coming back. Now, Sinister, remind me, are we doing just the Stolen Earth, or are we doing the Stolen Earth and Journey's End on the same evening?
Just the Stolen Earth.
Righty-ho. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing, not next Friday, but the Friday afterwards. Next Saturday, at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern, we've got the Star Wars RPG, which is going batshit crazy. And then next Sunday, at the usual time, we've got the Flashing Blade, where we will be looking at, just to reiterate, Terror of the Vervoids, something from Big Finish, hopefully Peladon. If it is Peladon, hopefully Dominic will have time to come in and sit in on this. Fourth episode of Star Cops, and Sand for Blake 7, plus the usual gang of idiots.
You mean there's someone else on?
Oh dear.
I think you may have misunderstood me there. Actually, it's a quote from, I think it's Mad Magazine, either Mad Magazine or Cracked, plus the usual gang of idiots. I could be wrong. I could very much. I've got absolutely no idea how long in total we've been going. Hang on.
1
2
hour,
hours.
55 minutes.
Bloody
Yeah,
hell, nearly
coming
2
2 hours.
hours. Jesus. Oh, well, we might as well call it a night then. Again, apologies for the internet outages. It's totally beyond my control. I'm sorry.
Blame that virgin.
Anybody got anything they'd like to say before we go? Oh, good. Thank you, guys, for being here. Dominic, especially, thank you.
Praise.
And, we'll see you next week. Boys, what I'd like you to do now is to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Dear. Sinister, we need a John Levine thing. I'll cue you in. And And don't forget, Adam's goat is at the end. Ta-ra, see you next week.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
John Levine was taken out of time for another reason, and he has every intention of finding out what it is.